Hello and welcome back to English Story Plus. In this video, you'll practice your listening skills and pick up some useful expressions for everyday conversations. You can also improve your speaking by repeating the English you hear. Feel free to just listen first if you like. So let's begin the story. Hello there. I'm Emma. I went to the supermarket last weekend. It was not just for milk and eggs. On my way home, there was a tiny furry surprise. Let's rewind to that Saturday morning. The sun was shining through my bedroom window. I was still in my pajamas and yawning. My mom called me from the kitchen at that time.
Can you go to the supermarket for me, Emma?
She handed me a small shopping list and some money.
There's not too much. Just a few things we need for dinner.
The list had milk, eggs, tomatoes, fish and rice. Simple enough. I ate a quick breakfast. Then I got dressed, grabbed my backpack, and put on my sneakers. Before leaving, I checked the list one more time. And I also made sure I had the money in my wallet. The supermarket wasn't too far. I walked down our street, passing by the usual places. There was the bakery that always smelled like fresh bread. The flower shop had colorful flowers outside. I also passed by a park where children were playing. It was a nice walk. I arrived at the supermarket soon. The doors opened automatically with a soft whoosh. It was cool and bright inside. I picked up a basket and started looking for the items on my list. First, I found the milk. Then, I got the eggs. They were on the next shelf. So far, so good. But then I couldn't find the tomatoes. I walked up and down the produce section. I looked around and around, but they weren't where I expected. Finally, I decided to ask for help. A kind-looking worker was stacking oranges nearby. I walked over and said, "Excuse me, where can I find the tomatoes?" She smiled and said,
"They're right over there, next to the cucumbers."
I thanked her and walked to the spot she pointed at. "Oh, there they are," I said to myself. I picked a few nice ones and put them in a small bag. Next was fish and rice. The fish was in the seafood section. I chose a small pack of fresh salmon fillets there. The rice was in the dry foods aisle. There were so many types of rice. But I picked the one we always buy. I checked the list again. Milk, check. Eggs, check. Tomatoes, fish, rice, check. I also looked at the prices on the shelf. I picked up one item and checked the label. "This is $2. That's not too expensive," I said to myself. I counted the money my mom gave me. It was just enough. At the checkout counter, I waited in line. When it was my turn, I placed everything on the belt. The cashier smiled and said,
"Hi. Did you find everything okay?"
"Yes, thank you," I said. She scanned the items, and I handed her the money.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too, I said, and packed everything into a shopping bag. With the shopping done, I started walking home. But then, I heard something. I stopped. It was a soft, high-pitched sound. I looked around. There, near a bush on the side of the street, was a tiny kitten. It had orange and white fur and looked very thin. It was sitting all alone, looking up at me with big eyes. "Hi there, little one," I said gently. I looked around. But I didn't see a mother cat or any other kittens. "Are you lost?" I asked. The kitten meowed again, and slowly walked toward me. I knelt down and held out my hand. The kitten sniffed it, and rubbed its head against my fingers. I couldn't just leave it there. I opened my backpack and took out a clean towel I had inside. Carefully, I made a little bed inside the bag. Then, I gently placed the kitten inside. "Don't worry," I whispered. "I'll take you home." I kept checking my bag to make sure the kitten was okay. It was so tiny and quiet, just peeking out from time to time. I whispered, "Don't worry. You're safe now." When I arrived at the house, I opened the door and called out, "I'm back." My mom came into the hallway. She saw the shopping bag and smiled. "I got everything you asked for," I said.
What's that?
She asked. I slowly opened the bag, and the kitten peeked out.
Oh my goodness!
She said with surprise. "Can we keep it?" I asked. It was all alone. She looked at the kitten for a moment, and then nodded.
Okay. But we have to take it to the vet and make sure it's healthy.
I smiled big. "Thank you." I gently took the kitten out of my bag and placed it on a blanket in a box. It looked around with big eyes and gave a tiny meow. I gave it a small bowl of water and a little milk. "You must be hungry," I said softly. It licked the milk slowly, then curled up in the blanket. Inside the box, I sat next to the kitten and watched it sleep. Its tiny body moved up and down as it breathed. As I watched, a warm feeling of happiness filled my heart. I felt lucky to have found such a tiny, precious life. Later that night, I told my mom. I bought everything on the list and found a new friend too. She laughed and gave me a hug. It was just a normal day that turned into something special. And now, our home has one more family member. Listen and speak. Listen carefully and try to speak along with me. Can you go to the supermarket for me? Can you go to the supermarket for me? I put on my sneakers. I put on my sneakers. I walked past the bakery. I walked past the bakery. Excuse me, where can I find the milk? Excuse me, where can I find the milk? I checked my list one more time. I checked my list one more time. I put everything into my basket. I put everything into my basket. I couldn't just leave it there. I couldn't just leave it there. I'll take you home. I'll take you home. We have to take it to the vet. We have to take it to the vet. A warm feeling of happiness filled my heart. A warm feeling of happiness filled my heart. Thank you for learning with us today. Let's keep practicing together. See you in the next lesson.